Disco X on the line, just as I suspected. No one really gets over me. I'm unaffected. Why would you try to ever put me second? You're just another groupie to me. No, I'm out here single, and I need some real. Now I got standards, give a fuck how you feel. I'm out here single, tell me what's the deal. Now I got standards, give a fuck how you feel.
What is going on, everybody? Happy Labor Day. Excited to have you with us right here on the Betting News Network. Welcome to your afternoon BETSPRESSO. That is Kate Constable. That's Danny Burke. My name is Sweatpants Jesus. Stoked to have you guys here to kick off your week. And hope you're having a fantastic holiday out there. Guys, happy Monday. Happy Labor Day. How we doing?
Happy Monday. Doing good. Excited to be here with you guys. Talk a little football from the weekend, a little WNBA, got it all.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, couldn't be any more excited. We're underway post week one college football. I know we still got one more game tonight, but, we're pretty much there. But, yeah, looking forward to getting everybody's classic, overreactions. I know I have plenty of them, so excited to hear both of your thoughts from what we witnessed over the weekend.
Yeah, we're going to get into the overreactions in just a second. We are going to talk about what happened in week one in college football, a little bit of some other stuff this weekend with you guys. As Kate said, we're going to jump into some dub tonight as we're getting into the nitty-gritty of the season. A couple more games left in the regular season, and Danny does have a play for you guys on the diamond. So we're going to jump into a little bit of everything. We're going to also talk about, Bill Belichick's doing that football thing. Not on Monday Night Football, though how he has done for decades in the past. A different type of Monday Night Football from Bill Belichick tonight. So we're going to talk a little bit about that TCU UNC game tonight as well. Thanks for stopping by. Brought to you by our sponsors at Bet Online. It's the perfect time to get involved with Bet Online. They have a $1 million survivor pool competition. If you like getting involved with survivor pools, they have an opportunity for you guys to win a portion of $1 million. You can go check that out with the QR code right here, right on the side of my face, right over there. Get involved. Appreciate you guys tuning in right here on Twitch, on YouTube, wherever you're watching this content, on X. We might have some people watching on Kick. We still go live on Kick if you want to come hang out with us with that green. The guys were talking about it this morning. Colby was like, so what is Kick exactly?
I have never heard of Kick, to be honest. That's it's a new one for me.
It's like it was the first branch off from Twitch, and it's a little bit more what's the best way to say this live on air? It's a little more open to lots of areas, if that makes sense.
Gotcha.
So yeah, we got a lot of people viewing on all sorts of platforms, though. We appreciate you guys wherever you're hanging out. But first of all, I just want to get this out of the way. Danny, congratulations, my man. Smacked all three of your wagers, made a cool TikTok this weekend. Smacked all three of them. You talked about all of them on Saturday, too. So congrats. And as you said yourself on socials, you can fade yourself next week. So it's
exactly. I know, it's obviously great to get off to such a strong start. But, yeah, the inevitable reverse sweep, I'm sure, is looming very near. But, no, appreciate it. And, yeah, happy we could begin that way. And, fingers crossed so we could keep it rolling throughout the season. But it was certainly a fun weekend over here and, a lot to build off on based on what we saw. So, taking notes from other people too. I mean, hearing Shaggy talk, hearing Colby talk. I mean, I know, for example, like when we were building that parlay, I added it just for fun on the side, but that LSU bet, I mean, he was all over that. So, just the team over here in general was crushing it. So it was a great collective effort all around.
It's nice too, because as you guys know, I'm not a big college football guy. I like enjoying it. I watch it casually, but I'm not super deep in the numbers of it. NFL, it's a different story, but it's great tailing you guys. It's awesome because every time we do a show together,
Danny from now on as well.
Yeah.
My weekend didn't go quite as well, so I'm all over Danny's bets from now on.
It's okay because I feel like you're gonna lock and load that. What's the Iowa State matchup called? What is that? What is it? Cy-Hawk.
Yeah,
Cy-Hawk this week.
One.
Yeah, Kate's ready.
Yeah, Iowa threw for what, like 44 yards this week? Great.
So much height
from the Hawkeyes. Yeah.
Nothing's changed.
Absolutely nothing has changed. The most frustrating thing in the world is being an Iowa fan.
Isn't it crazy having all these reactions of like in the off season and like, you know, it happens across all sports. You get all these overreactions. And I'm not a big Iowa guy, but I saw the guy, he threw some passes in training camp. Like, oh my God, Iowa has a quarterback now. They're going to throw the ball.
Yep.
That is short-lived, right?
Very short-lived.
Yeah. Well, since we're talking about that, let's talk about some stuff this weekend. Obviously, the Heisman situation has drastically shifted in comparison to what we saw from Arch Manning in Texas. Shout out you, Danny, for knocking that one out of the park with OSU. We had Alabama go down. There's a lot of big things that happened this weekend. So, Kate, I'll let you lead us off. Ladies first. What was something that really stood out to you, biggest shock from the weekend?
I mean, biggest shock, I think, had to be just how poor Alabama looked. Like, they have all the talent in the world, but they just didn't look like they were ready to play. They didn't look like they were giving enough effort. And that is so uncharacteristic of Alabama teams under Nick Saban. Like, is this the norm under Kalen DeBoer? I didn't think that. Like, when he got the job, even last year, I thought he was going to be a really good coach. And I've been very high on Alabama coming into this season and saying, okay, year 2 under DeBoer, they bring over Ryan Grubb, his offensive coordinator, Washington, blah, 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 blah. Things are going to be great. And they just didn't look ready to play at all, which is a little scary for Alabama fans. I mean, SportsCenter talking this morning, First Take, they were saying DeBoer at this point is going to be lucky if he makes it out of September if this type of stuff continues. So just the lack of effort and the lack of like playing hard week 1 was shocking, really, for Alabama.
I mean, it's one of those situations. I saw a lot of funny things about this on the timeline about the DeBoer versus Saban situation because, you know, Saban had his office looked like, you know, the mahogany and like all the tradition
and then like the Verizon store or something. People were saying.
Yeah. People compared it to like the old Cracker Barrel logo to the new one type of deal too. I saw that one floating around as well. But I mean, it's a changing of the guard, and when you have a changing of the guard, you have this situation where are the players going to buy in? Because Saban comes with so much, like obviously the name, but also the tradition and that kind of, as you said, that effort and that X factor that comes with bringing in these type of talent. And like maybe that doesn't exist with DeBoer. What do you think, Danny? Did you have the same kind of takeaway in that game?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. It was certainly a disappointing outing for this Alabama team. And we do have to give credit to Florida State, right? I mean, the complete reverse. This team was ready to go and fire away immediately. And anytime you have Alabama coming into town, I mean, week 1 of the year, again, what I always say, you have all offseason to prepare for this. So that's why more often than not, I'm a little cautious when I'm laying, you know, big favorites. Like the only one I did was Tennessee. And, you know, that to me just felt like night and day. But at the same time, like Florida State still is a very consistent program as much as they shoot themselves in the foot. You know, they're still always tough. They're still going to grind out a lot of games. So it's not entirely shocking that it ended up being, you know, like that, that it would have been close. But of course, for them to win by 14 and cover the reverse spread at that point, I mean, it was crazy. And from the quarterback play from Alabama is where I was really perplexed. I mean, Simpson looked pretty atrocious, 23 of 43, you know, 254 yards, couple touchdowns. Just, and again, overall, those numbers aren't awful, but when you're playing at Alabama in this type of scenario, you got to be a lot better. And there was just not really any explosive plays. He looked lost out there. I know he's running his butt off, but I would be a little concerned. And again, I know it's the first week and we do play into the overreaction, but how can't you when it's an established program like Alabama and you have this talent and it is DeBoer in year 2 where now you don't really have those excuses. So I think there is a tad bit of concern. Obviously, you're not completely freaking out, but if the quarterback play is going to continue to be underwhelming like that, it's going to be a long season for the Crimson Tide.
Go ahead, Kate.
I think you also make a good point with Florida State. And one of the things that I thought after Saturday is, or after Sunday even, is maybe the ACC is a little bit more deep than we gave it credit for coming into the year. Like everyone just thought it was Clemson's conference to lose, and SMU played really well. Miami looked really good. Carson Beck, I thought, looked solid. Like Florida State, again, we knew they weren't going to be a 2-10 team again coming back into this year. So maybe the ACC, the top 4 or 5, 6 teams in the ACC might be a little bit better than at least I gave them credit for going into this year.
It's funny, you had all those other teams show up, and then you had the top team that everybody thought might have a chance to compete for national championship decided to not show. Well, maybe they did not show up, but they lost. So, you know, it's crazy how it can all kind of turn on its head a little bit. Do you guys kind of buy into any stock? I saw something about this, and as you guys are a little bit more college football into it than I am, do you guys buy into any stock that this is going to be a little bit more of the norm now, that we're not going to see the SEC just kind of run through people because of the NIL deals that are happening, because of the transfer portal? Do you think that maybe this is kind of going to diversify the talent across the country a little more?
It's kind of fascinating. I mean, at first I feel like the thought process it was almost going to make it like a monopoly in the sense that these big programs would just consistently get these guys and just keep dominating and dominating. And it is still
Yeah.
very early, but perhaps that is a scenario because you look at it like, some of these schools where, take my alma mater with Nebraska, for example. I mean, Nebraska football is all they have. So they're going to invest a ton of NIL in these players. And obviously, Nebraska had their dominance in the 90s. So if they, return to that, it's not too crazy. But the way they played since I've been affiliated, it would be crazy. But the point being is like, you may see a lot of those schools where that's still all they have, even though they haven't been at the top of the power rankings. Like that's where they're going to get back into the conversation of that competitive spirit and getting those top recruits. So yeah, maybe it is going to level out. I think it's just a shift in the tides is inevitable in general, especially when you're losing such a powerhouse like a Nick Saban. It makes it more fun, right? I mean, I think that's the best for everything. And, we'll still see what the results of NIL as a whole are going to be, a few years down the road. There are certainly a lot of cons, there are pros, but if it does end up leveling it out, that's awesome. And it seems to be the case in a very short sample size, but no complaints from me.
You said shift in the tides. That was a good pun. Way to throw that one in there, Danny. Go ahead, kid.
You also see schools like who is it, Texas Tech, that just shoveling out money for a lot of these. So yeah, you are going to see a little bit of change. The SEC, I saw so many posts about like the SEC had a terrible opening weekend. Yeah, maybe, but there were a lot of tough matchups for SEC teams.
Yeah.
Like I don't think you can necessarily take a ton of stock from like the tide is totally shifting based on how the SEC did in week 1.
Well, I mean, Tennessee railroaded. I mean, again, Danny was on that one. So, I think Vanderbilt won too. Not to say I'm a little bit of a Vanderbilt guy, so I'll be monitoring Vanderbilt this season, even though they're not a high quality SEC team. But any other biggest takeaway for you, Danny? I know we kind of talked a little bit about the Alabama situation. What was the biggest shock for you from week 1?
Yeah, kind of going down the list. I mean, just a brief talk with the Ohio State Texas game. We were talking about that all week in the sense of a lower scoring affair as well, right? Because it's 2 new quarterbacks going against 2 awesome defenses. So I don't think anybody should freak out. And I think a majority of people are not, but obviously the public sentiment is, Arch Manning, not good, all this, and that. But again, that was the worst scenario for him to start out as a starting quarterback, right? His first road game, you're going to the shoe. And that was a large reason why I favored the side of Ohio State. In the long run, they're probably going to end up being better off than Ohio State. And again, that's why you still see, if they were to play again on a neutral field, you'd have Texas as the favorite or a slight favorite in that scenario. But you give props to Ohio State for still coming in hot there. And again, we talked about the championship hangover, not applicable for college like it is for the pros too. It's a whole new outlook in these important positions. So both teams will be really solid. Texas, nothing to worry about whatsoever. LSU, again, Colby was high in them. They're going to be a team obviously right there in the conversation the entire year. And then I do kind of want to go to 2 other ones that stood out. The other game that I had some interest in, this was actually my favorite play of the weekend, was that Utah and UCLA game. And I again, not to overreact, but we talked about Utah being that sneaky type of team to get into the college football playoff. And maybe they really weren't that sneaky, but I think people attribute them to being under that umbrella because last year they were 5-7. But again, that doesn't happen often with Whittingham. The last time it did was 2013. They're dealing with a bunch of injuries in the quarterback position. Now they got that kid from New Mexico who can just absolutely run it behind one of the best offensive lines. They always have a good defense. This Utah team is going to continue to be legit. So I think they really proved that in week 1. And then, we were kind of joking about it already, but not to diss Kate here, because Kate, you are an Iowa alumni, right? Like you and I have this rivalry here. My sister went there too, a bunch of my friends. I love Iowa, a great campus to visit, but we're playing each other. Obviously, we're enemies, but it's just like the more things change, the more they stay the same. With Iowa, it doesn't matter who you put in there. I feel like until Ferentz is gone, nothing can fully change. And you're right. Like I always say, Nebraska and a Bears fan is the worst combination. I mean, I was right there because it's like all you're missing is the quarterback. Like you have every single piece there intact. If you could just get one competent quarterback, that could easily get in a Hawkeyes team in the playoff conversation pretty much any year. But it's just you're right behind that threshold all the time. And again, we're overreacting. It's week 1. Who knows? But certainly not promising against Albany to only throw for, less than 50 passing yards?
48. Yeah. I think it's fair to overreact to this because I thought Mark Gronowski coming in, like I've been pounding my chest on him being like, he's going to finally be the guy. He can throw downfield. He can have explosive plays. He's won everywhere he's been, granted FCS level with South Dakota or South Dakota State. And you're right. Until Ferentz is gone, nothing on offense is going to change. They had over 300 rushing yards, like 15 passing attempts all game. It's just maddening to watch this team. And against an Albany team, you have 48 receiving or passing yards. Like, it is mind-boggling how that type of stuff happens. And this is even after they got rid of Ferentz's son as the offensive coordinator and brought in someone new. And it literally is not going to change until Ferentz is gone. I love Ferentz. He's done great things for that school. He's a good guy. He's a good coach. But, like, come on. You're going to win 7, 8, 9 games every year. You're going to play in the Outback Bowl every year. And that's going to be like that. That's the cream of the crop right there. At some point, we need a little bit more.
This is one of those, it's like I think this conversation happens for a lot of teams where you sacrifice mediocrity, you sacrifice being like decent or good to shoot for the moon to be great. And like, this feels like one of those situations where they have to maybe take that plunge into that possibility. Yeah. They might be bad after that. Yeah, they're not going to.
But it would be the point where, you maybe should.
Oh, salt all up in the wound.
I mean, unfortunately, it's like, Ferentz just runs that program like he's a staple there. If there's a guy with the safest, job in America, it's arguably him just because he's been there for so long. I feel like it's kind of like, how, and Kate, this too, like being in Chicago, I mean, with Reinsdorf, right? I mean, finally he's inching his way out with the White Sox, but like, that's how we feel as, Bulls fans. And, I'm a Cubs fan, but how people feel with the White Sox too. It's like, we're screwed until they're gone. So I feel like it's the same thing.
Exactly.
I'm here with 2 Chicago Bears fans, I just realized, and we also have a third one in the chat. What's up, Chef? Happy Labor Day. Also, guys, I want to bring this up as well. We have a few more hours left on this. If you guys want to get involved, go check out our store. It is a Labor Day swag sale. Go check it out. Rosie the Riveter is telling you what's up. 33% off selected items. If you want to go cop a hat right before football gets started, we got a lot of cool stuff in our store. 33% off today, only in honor of you guys being awesome labor people. Never really been a big Labor Day guy, but it's a cool day off, I guess. But in sports, you don't really get days off. We're hanging out with you guys, but we love what we do, so it's fine. All right, last kind of overreaction / takeaway that I want to ask you guys about, and then we'll jump into today. Are you guys overreacting about Arch in Texas? Are you guys overreacting? Do you guys obviously all the memes, all the Uncle Rico stuff from Napoleon Dynamite, like he's the worst of them. He's not actually a Manning, like all that funny stuff that happens when you're a huge touted recruit and then you come in and don't look great in your first start. Are you guys buying into any of that, or is it just week 1 jitters and we'll get out of the way and we'll be good? Or do you think there's a little more to it?
I'm going to give him a longer leash than just 1 game. I mean, he missed a lot of throws. He wasn't great, especially in the first half, but tough atmosphere to go into, tough team to play against. You're on the road, national spotlight all over you. And like, honestly, it felt like he would have had to go out there and throw for 4 touchdowns, 300 plus yards. They have to be basically perfect for people to be like, okay, he's lived up to the hype. Like anything below that, he was going to get scrutinized. And it was certainly far below expectations, but I think he's going to be just fine. Plus, I thought the offense was just kind of stale altogether. Like the play calling wasn't that creative as well. So I think you could blame some of that on offensive coordinator, or at least Sark calling the plays. I think we expect a little bit more from him too.
I saw Orlovsky say you have a top 5-star recruit, and you basically put training wheels on him for the first game. Yeah. So it's like, that's what can you expect in these situations, right? You think the same, Danny? Or you thinking a little more like you're a little concerned?
No, I'm certainly the same way. Again, it was the worst scenario for him for his first road start to go to the shoe. So again, it was going to be tough from the get-go. And I get the training wheel sentiment a little bit. Like you do want to ease them into it. And that's what we kind of assumed their strategy was going to be, and why Ohio State may have that edge. I mean, Julian Sain was essentially the same way. He had some great throws, but then there were some drops from the receivers, and the same case happened with the Longhorns. So he'll be completely fine. There's going to be so much more pressure on the kid because of what his last name is and who he's related to. So it's inevitable, and that people are going to scrutinize him if he has one okay or just below average game. And this is going to be the best thing for him realistically in the long run to get built up by that adversity. He's got to get chiseled, and there's no better way to do it than start with kind of an aggravating loss against one of the best teams in the country, the defending national champions. The kid will be fine. He's going to be a stud. So, yeah, there's no reason to overreact.
Everybody loves overreacting, though. I just think it's hilarious that everybody was putting this kid on a pedestal before the start of the season, and he has one mediocre / not fantastic performance straight to the trash. He's terrible. Right. Put him in the trash can. It's the world we live in, unfortunately, these days. We're about to see a lot of it for the NFL this weekend as we're getting closer and closer to the start of the NFL Week 1. Huge as the season kicks off on Thursday. We've got a lot of fun content rolling for you guys this weekend, so stick around with us. Anything else you guys want to mention from the reactions from the weekend, or should we jump into the game that we have tonight?
Good. Jumping into TCU.
Yeah, let's do it
tonight. Let's get after it. Yeah, Chef, congrats. Chef's going to be on the show with us a few times, which will be fun. And you get to witness Chef talk. Yeah, Chef's really sharp with it, but you guys definitely have great voices. All right, let's jump into this game tonight. Shaggy and Colby talked about this one a little bit earlier. Shaggy wrote about this at bettingnews.com, which you can go peep his scribbles on a couple things that he had circled for this game. But it's Bill Belichick. It's his first Monday Night Football outside of the NFL. We got TCU taking on UNC tonight, plus 3.5 are the Tar Heels at home. Over-under set at 54.5. Interesting situation here because obviously there was a lot of stuff that happened in the offseason leading in for this UNC team. All the off-the-field situations with Bill Belichick. You've also got Michael Jordan's going to be in the house for this game today. I don't know if you guys saw that.
I didn't know that.
Mia Hamm's going to be there. There's going to be some star-studded affair, which is probably one of the reasons why they stuck around and kept Bill in the house for the eyeballs and the money that he brings in. But overall takeaways, I know Kate's got to play in this game. Danny, you said you had some thoughts too. Kate, I'll let you kind of lead us off. What are you kind of looking at in this game? First game under Bill Belichick for the Tar Heels. What are we thinking?
Yeah, this game is just so interesting with the line movement that we've seen. I mean, earlier on before the season started, the look ahead line on this was UNC minus 3.5, and it's completely flipped. So not over, you cross both threes, which is huge. I'm just looking for how Bill Belichick's defense plays tonight, which is why I'm not going to, I haven't bet it yet. So this isn't an official play of mine, but I would lean towards the under here, 54.5. That would be the play here. And I don't have a whole lot of faith in this Tar Heels offense right now, especially with so many new pieces. And TCU kind of having a lot of pieces having returned. I think they have like one of the more established rosters in terms of turnover, returning players, whatever you want to call it this year. Their quarterback is back. So I think their offense is going to be okay, but I'm expecting the defense, at least for UNC, to be better and to be, a Bill Belichick run defense. He's great against rookie quarterbacks in the NFL. And I mean, you talk about the caliber of quarterback that you're getting here is similar to what you would get, or at least or a little below what you would get as a rookie quarterback in the NFL. So I think Belichick's defense here tonight is going to be able to at least keep this a lower scoring game. And then I don't have a ton of confidence in the offense right now, putting up, or at least doing their part to put up enough points for this one to go over.
Okay. I mean, week 1 unders felt pretty like that one in the OSU game.
And
like you mentioned,
unders in week 1 were dominant too.
That too. But that Texas OSU game, we talked about that one going under for kind of similar, big time game, even though it wasn't, I guess, prime time you could consider a noon kickoff or 11 noon.
I mean, everyone in the country was watching that game.
Right.
All right. It feels like a prime time spot. And that first half under was just the airiest of air of all time. So you can take the under here at 54.5 if you want to roll that direction. Danny, what do you think about this game from both sides?
Yeah, I haven't bet anything here because the number's gotten out of hand. I would be looking at the side of TCU, but getting or having to lay over the key number of 3 isn't really appealing at this point. So I'm going to wait for an in-game bet. And if I can get it under that pretty early, then I'll look to go on this Horned Frogs team. Like Kate was alluding to, I mean, you have Josh Hoover there who set a record last year with passing yards, almost 4,000, tagged along 27 touchdowns with that. So they have an established offense with Sonny Dykes there now, I believe, entering his 4th season as head coach. And, they were still solid last year, relatively down, though, certainly once they set the bar high in that championship. But, I can't buy into Bill Belichick at UNC. I mean, I actually think it's going to be a nightmare for them in the long run. I think this is just like obviously it's that shiny toy. Like, you're not going to say no to Belichick, but coaching college in the NFL is a completely different ball game. And is Belichick really, locked into this? And look, I don't want to slander the guy, but I mean, you can't. He's a legend. But with all this off-field distraction, the girlfriend, I am actually thinking that is going to be an issue here. Like, how serious are they all taking it there with the recruiting? And there's so many new faces there. And now you're put under the spotlight, expecting to win because of who you are immediately. You have the target on your back. You don't get a pass. I mean, you're Bill Belichick and your UNC, who's been, slowly an improving football program. They've been making a name for themselves. And in the quarterback position, well, Gio Lopez, he's coming in from South Alabama, not too bad. And then, I know Max Johnson made his recovery. It seems like they don't really know who the guy is going to be long-term, so anything could happen. It's just a lot of unknowns at USC. So I agree with the market movement. I missed the numbers, so I'm not willing to lay 3 in the hook here. Like I said, gonna wait for a better spot. But I also agree with Kate with this under. I would certainly be leaning toward the under here because I think it could be some issues on the side of the offense for UNC. And then conversely, Belichick's, always has a good defense too. And it's tough to travel in that first week on the road if you're TCU. So you don't know what schematics Belichick is going to have up his sleeve on the defensive side of the ball. Pardon me. So yeah, I think it's going to be kind of just a slower tempo, kind of grotesque type of offensive performance from both teams to some degree.
We're going to look for both teams to do the blah, 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 blah. That's what we're looking for. Blah, 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 much of that.
Yeah, Belichick's, putting some black magic on me right now because I'm dissing him, but can't speak.
Go ahead, Kate.
Do we think we get an MJ and Jordan Hudson photo up on the field tonight?
5,000%. 5,000 million %.
Oh, that's so cringy.
Oh, God, yeah. Or Mia Hamm, or all three.
Oh, yeah.
100%. This is going to turn into a circus. I have no doubt. I think it's interesting you bringing up the point about the coaches not translating from college to the NFL because you know it with Matt Rule and now at Nebraska. He had a terrible run in the NFL. Nick Saban, one of the GOATs of college football, didn't really have a very good college professional career. It's a completely different animal. It's a completely different situation. They brought Bill Belichick in, it felt like, for the shiny new toy, like you mentioned, to have all the names talking about it. And maybe it's just to lift up the program to a whole nother level. But I'm agreeing with you, dude. This off the field stuff has been so funky. Sometimes you just got to kind of put stuff behind you and move in and say, all right, let's just go play some football. But I have a feeling this is going to linger. It's going to be like, when you step in dog shit and you keep walking around and you can't, you're like,
the smell never goes away.
It never goes away, man. It really doesn't. It really doesn't. I watched that interview this summer, and that was, when you get all the red flags and all the places go, oh no, that's bad. Yeah, I don't feel like it's going to get any better. Well, I don't know if it's going to translate on the field or not, but we'll see.
Right. I'm sorry. I was just going to butt in. Obviously, again, the college to the NFL has not been successful. NFL going back to college, you mentioned Matt Rule, going back and doing that. Certainly, there's a case to be made that that's a bit easier of a transition. But my thought process is Belichick's been ingrained so long in the NFL culture. It's a completely different dynamic in terms of recruiting. And you have to resell your identity and your culture every single year to these kids that now in an NIL laden environment, if they don't like your message, they're not bought in. See, it doesn't matter. You can't get the familiarity and build a foundation in college like he did for so long in a professional organization where he had that job security for so long. He could run things the way he wanted to. And not that he can't at UNC, but it's just there's so much extra BS that you have to put up with these kids, from recruiting, from them, getting this money on the side, and just, hey, if Belichick doesn't play, screw you guys, I'm out. That doesn't happen in the NFL, right? So I don't think he's going to adapt as seamlessly as everybody wants to imagine he will, just because it's Bill Belichick. So, maybe he'll prove me wrong. He's got to do something out there throughout the entire course of the season to show me otherwise. But I think it's going to be rough sledding for the Tar Heels.
All right, Kate, you haven't watched me do this live. Danny saw it this weekend, but here we go. So our friends at Bet Online, you cannot do this. So this is across all markets. But as we tell you guys, they do sponsor our show. But you should have all the books because you never know when the line's always line shop chat. And a lot of those books out there have some little boosty boosts. I am going to alt the total to 58.5. And I'm going to take the under. And I'm going to use a boost to get it to -114. Because I like what you guys are saying. I can feel good about it. Chat's listening. They might have some ideas about this. I did this with Danny's play with OSU. I laddered it up a skosh to +3.5. Didn't need to. I was soft, but that's okay. Did it also with Colby's play as well. Chat, be smart. Bet smart. Make some money. You know what I'm saying? So if you're not a sharp like me, if you want to just listen straight to these guys and just tail completely, you can go for that. But if you want to do it a little bit differently, under 58.5, a little bit of a boost there, minus 114 is a good way to do it too. So then you can buy yourself a tiny bit of leeway, I guess. So that's what I'm going to do. I like to do these with this situation. I'll listen to you guys talk, feel all your goods. Sometimes I'll just tail straight up. Sometimes I'll just be like, okay, I can apply it like this and do like that. I'm not a big teaser guy. Do you guys like teasers? You into
Love
teasers?
I do teasers in the NFL. Yeah.
Okay. I like teasers. I got screwed on a teaser one time, and then I was like, I'm not dealing with teasers for a little while because it pissed me off so much. But it's a similar kind of situation with that. But
yeah, market's gotten a lot worse for the teasers these days. So I don't do them as often because, like the VIG on the 6-point teaser is pretty brutal at just about every book. But I mean, if you get the right spot, obviously great bet. But yeah, the odds don't make it as enticing these days.
Unfortunately not. When I started sports betting, it was actually a really good way to do it, but now it's not as good. So do you guys have any props? Shags wrote about this game. He does have a prop in this game. If you want to go read his scribbles at bettingnews.com. Do you guys have any ideas on some players on one side or the other that you might think can scooch into the end zone?
I tailed someone on a prop, so this prop is not coming from me by any means.
Let's hear. I got nothing, so it's all you, Kate.
TCU, this is from my guy Dan Carpuck. He's awesome at props. TCU tight end DJ Rogers to have 29 plus receiving yards. He's the tight end top tight end this year. These are, again, his notes. Natural receiver, explosive, 36, 40 plus yard catches. No, that's not right. 36, 40 yard catches last year. Could that be right? That seems like a lot.
I mean,
pretty darn good.
36, 40 plus yard catches. I think that's a little high.
Oh, I think he had a 36 and a 40 yard catch last year.
Okay.
That would be a little bit more.
There you go.
And then their quarterback, Josh Hoover, pass heavy quarterback. So we're going with tight end DJ Rogers to go over his receiving prop, courtesy of Dan Carpuck over on the Twitter machine.
Nice.
That's all I got for props.
That's okay.
I'm not much of a college prop better.
Shout out you for being honest though, and not being like, I have this great prop. You guys should listen into what I have to say here.
Can't claim props in college whatsoever.
Nice. We do have some fun news coming next week though, as Kate is a very big prop bettor, and you guys are going to be able to find out with her new show coming next week too. So that's going to be fun. Gio Lopez yards? Question mark from chat. Any thoughts on that one? What's the line? You know who? I'm sure you're probably looking at it right now. And you guys got any thoughts on Gio Lopez?
Again, it's just like it's such a big question mark with this offense at UNC, to where if I were doing anything, I would shade to the under. But with the whole quarterback situation between them, a little competitive fire. I mean, what are we going to see if there's struggles right away? So anything in this game prop wise, more often than not, I would be leaning toward the under in that first week. I mean, everybody wants to go toward the overs. I just don't know enough in the prop. In general, I'm like, Kate, I don't really bet props for college. Love it for the NFL. Love it for the NBA. If I'm doing props in college, it's really going to be with my alma mater, Nebraska, the team that I'm just absolutely always, diving into and can get a better idea of what kind of strategy they have, which running backs are getting more attention in the red zone, et cetera. So, but in the overall kind of scope of how I think the game's going to go with this total going to the under, I would correlate that with most props, especially with the UNC side, which I don't believe is the right side. So that's how I would just say it blindly. But again, don't go crazy with what I'm saying there, because I haven't bet any props.
You guys can go read Shag's article at bettingnews.com for free. He did have a prop in there in this game. He dove into it, and he is very good with college props. You can go bet that. Mm-hmm. Kate, see, I told you this is going to happen. What's the guy's name? Someone's going to tail.
That's a good question. DJ
Callie.
Oh, I just got away from it. DJ Rogers over his receiving prop. I saw it as low as 23.5 some places. I saw it at 29.5 other places. So do your shopping as always, because much better to take it at 23 and versus 29.
Shop around as per usual. What's up, Austin?
Also, TCU tight end.
Nice. Also, Austin said he's at the beach. Shout out to you at the beach. You lucky man.
Austin.
I know, right? It's a good way to spend Labor Day.
Yeah.
All right. Should be fun. Regardless, Michael Jordan will be in the house, as we mentioned, Mia Hamm and company. So I'm sure you guys will be tuning in for some Monday Night Football. However, this is the last week that we don't have NFL Monday Night Football, as that is rocking and rolling next week. Real quick, since you guys are both Bears fans, and I got you both here, any preliminary early thoughts on Bears week 1? We're going to talk about it a lot this week. Any thoughts right now?
I mean, I'm
totally throwing you on the spot here, so it's okay if you don't.
I don't know what to make of this game because you have question marks with JJ McCarthy. I want to say the Bears can go ahead and win. I'm probably not going to bet this game at all. But Danny, interested to see what you think. Maybe you'll sway me.
I have not. Yeah, I have not done anything yet. But the video that I just put out, speaking of TikTok, was about the Vikings win total. I have been pretty adamant on a lot of shows about my hesitation with trusting this Vikings team. Now, let me put it out there like this. Like Kevin O'Connell, great coach. A lot of weaponry alongside JJ McCarthy. The defense was outstanding last season. I think it's insane that the market has him as high as 9 in the hook. I know 8.5 is out there as well, but like that people are just expecting JJ McCarthy to go out there. Not really that prolific of a passer in college. Yes, he won a national championship. He's very good, right? But, you know, it seemed like he was limited, and you had a great foundation there at Michigan. It's not like he had to do too much with his arm to really get above the competition throughout the Big Ten. Now, you know, he may make me eat crow. We'll see. But he's also coming off of a major injury, and you're missing Jordan Addison for those first 3 games. And you're opening up your first NFL game, primetime, on the road against a division opponent. Yes, we're Bears fans, but guess what? Just like Nebraska, the team drives me crazy more than anything in this world. So I seldom am I going to go out there and like support them if I don't have if I don't think it's actually a good spot. So I'm just looking at this, and the fact that the Vikings are a slight favorite, I would have to go with the Bears, a little bit of plus money there on the money line. You have Caleb Williams in year 2. People have been trashing him all this time, and it's going to still be a work in progress. Yes, of course it is. But if we're going with the notion that there is going to be competency now with the staff, finally, then this is a game where they should win. It's probably going to be lower scoring. It's going to be gross all throughout, much like maybe, you know, tonight's Monday night game. So the under certainly could be a look as well. Primetime division game, you know, 2 younger quarterbacks, good defenses. But I'm just not willing to buy in on JJ until I see a season sample from him, or even a handful of games, because I don't see what the extreme hype is. I get why people still have their hesitations for Chicago and Caleb. I'm not, you know, pounding my fist up and on the ground and saying that he's going to be the greatest quarterback here in the NFC North. He clearly has the most potential, I would say, but you know, it's going to be a work in progress for him too, but he's got that sample size. He's got the year under his belt. And, you know, I don't know. What am I missing here with JJ McCarthy? I mean, if anyone has different thought, I don't see it yet.
I mean, we've talked about it quite extensively with JJ on multiple shows, and I think that would be the reason why the Vikings could finish last in this division if he's not very good. They could, if he's decent because of how good the roster is, they could be subpar or decent, or if he's, I mean, hell, he might be really good. And then this roster is very good, and Kevin O'Connell is a great head coach. So Brian Flores is a fantastic defensive coordinator. I like that under 44.5. Just kind of looking at the lines right now. This is obviously Monday Night Football chat for next week. So, you know, if you want to bet something in for a week from today, but that 44.5 does feel pretty comfortable. I wanted to pick y'all's brain since you're both Bears fans, and I don't know when I'll both see you next until we get into NFL this weekend. But yeah, it's going to be a fun one. I know Shags put out an article for you guys at bettingnews.com for Thursday Night Football, which is the first game of the regular season between the Cowboys and the Eagles. You can go peep his scribbles. I'll just go ahead and blow it a tiny bit. He might like the under in that game too. Go read why, as he might like the under in that one at bettingnews.com. So, all right, should we keep it rolling? Should we go into some hoops? Do you guys have anything else you want to say about some football before we jump into some WNBA?
All good. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Let's get after it. All right. So 2 WNBA games tonight. As I was saying earlier, we have gotten to the point where 4 teams in the top of the Dubcate have clinched their playoff positions. The Lynx at number 1, the Aces, Dream, and Mercury are all clinched in the playoffs. We still have 4 more spots to go, though. The Liberty, Valkyrie, Storm, and Fever, and the Sparks still fighting. You got 5 teams fighting for 4 spots. The Sparks playing tonight in the second game. We'll talk about that one in a second. But the first game is the Lynx taking on a team that is eliminated in the Paige Becker-led Wings, bottom of the league right now. Nothing to play for. I mean, the Lynx don't really have much to play for either, really. But what are you kind of looking at in this game?
Yeah, I just got paid out for my Wings win total under 13.5 this season. Fairly easy, comfortable win there. Oh, the Wings were bad. They were really bad this year.
Bad.
And they're continuing to be pretty bad. So I'm going to back Minnesota by taking their team total over 94.5, which is a big number. Yes, it is. But if you look at what Minnesota's offense has done, not only lately, scored well into the 90s against significantly better defensive teams, and the Wings have given up at least 100 in their last two, up in the 90s in their last 4 games. But more importantly, like Minnesota's offense right now, they're shooting 50% from the field in their last 5 games. They're shooting 47% from deep in their last 5 games. The Wings have the worst defensive rating in the league over that span, and they're number 3rd in pace of play, which means the Wings are not defending, but they're still playing at lightning speed. They're getting up and down the floor, and I think Minnesota is going to be able to get out in transition a ton. And they're a team that can play in transition. And even if this game gets completely out of hand, and I mean, it's an 18.5 point spread, like it's a blowout. But the depth of Minnesota, like Natasha Heidemann coming off the bench, Dejanay Carrington played really well coming off the bench. Like even their second unit, I think, is just as good as a lot of the Wings' top players outside of Paige Beckers. Whereas, usually in blowout games, you kind of look towards unders or maybe a team kind of taking their foot off the gas late. I don't think that's going to necessarily be the case for this Lynx team. So I'm going to go over 94.5.
I like it. No Kayla McBride for the Lynx. She's not going to be playing in this game for rest. But as you mentioned, Heidemann. So actually, Heidemann will be starting in her spot. Courtney Williams is playing. Collier is playing. This could be a situation where they just want to take an opportunity and just have a nice little beat down. Yeah. Nice little put the ball in the bucket, get nice and comfy right before the playoffs start.
Where they just dominate.
Paige Beckers was a GTD, but it's looking like that she's going to play in this game, which helps you hopefully keep it a little bit more competitive, a little closer from the wing side of things. So I didn't like this game. I like the team total. I think this is a good bet, but this game just could turn into an absolute mollywhopping.
Fair.
But I do like your team total play. I wanted to look at some Collier stuff because she destroys the Wings. But I got a little concerned on the fact that maybe this game does turn into that. She sits the 4th quarter or something, but I could see her having another big game. And I could just mention too, we'll talk about this more tomorrow on the dub, but I mean, she's got to keep putting up a couple good performances, I think, before the end of the regular season if she really wants to stamp and solidify that MVP with Asia Wilson chomping at her heels. Maybe not chomping, but she's closer than she was previously.
Closing in, yeah, for sure.
Closing in. All right, so that's that game. The second game, though, has a lot more on the line. These teams have played each other. The Storm and the Sparks have played each other. Is that it? You wanted to say?
Yeah, that's all I got for that game. Yep.
Cool. Sweet. Storm taking on the Sparks in Seattle. These teams have played each other 3 times this season. They played each other twice in the month of August. So they've seen each other quite consistently. The Storm have finally climbed back into the playoff picture. The Sparks are desperately hanging on for dear life. They're still 3.5 games back from the Fever in that 9 spot. They really need a dub. They need to catch every dub they can in this last little stretch of 5 or 6 games before the end of the regular season. Storm, 8.5 point favorites at home here. The Sparks, 8.5 point dogs. Kate, I know you said you don't have a bunch to say, but before I kind of give a couple of my props, you got any preliminary thoughts on this game?
I mean, I always with the Sparks, I always think overs. Storm are a good defensive team, though. I mean, Sparks need this game a little bit more, if I'm correct in that, with the standings. So you always, I'm pulling this up as I try and.
You're good.
So I mean, that makes me like the urgency probably there a little bit more with the Sparks, but even then, not so much. Like the Fever the Seattle's only half a game up on Indiana right now. So both of these teams, that's all I got. I stared at this game for a while. I looked into props, I looked into totals, and there's nothing that I feel strongly enough about to give out a bet on this one for.
Yeah, that's fair. Also, the Sparks run a back-to-back. They just played last night. So they are coming into this game, I don't want to say a little on tired legs, but, they just played. And they got to catch every dub that they can in this situation, like I mentioned. Now, chat, it's Labor Day, so happy holidays. But it's another holiday today as well. Happy Nneka versus her former team day. Taking Nneka Agumuke over 17.5 points. I've bet this every single time she's played this team this season. She didn't get over the hump for me last time, which was a little disappointing in the game against the Sparks. She only had 15 points in that one. But whenever she has a chance to play against her former team, the team that she won championships with, the team that she was the MVP for, the team that she was able to have a fantastic WNBA career for, she shows out. 37 points in the previous game, 26, 23, dating back to last season, 16, 23, 26. This is just a team she will always have respect for, probably always have love for in her heart, but then she will go out on the court and she will dominate. So give me 17.5 points. I love the 20+ for a sprinkle if you want some plus money there. Also a little sneaky one if you want a little double-double action. You're getting some nice value on the double-double, plus 300 in some places. She had a double-double in both of the last 2 games against this team as well. Dominic Malonga is also a game-time decision with a wrist injury. She may not play, so that means that Nyeka and Ezzy Magmagor down low for the Seattle Storm are going to have to play a little bit more, which helps that out even more. So that's my favorite play in this game. Again, it was one of those situations where I was like, I should just set in my alarm in my phone, just remind myself every time she plays. This is a holiday. But rolling with Nyeka in this one. But I did find another bet on the other side of things. As you mentioned, the Sparks desperately need to win. Always good on the over side of things. She's been a little bit tougher to bet in certain situations just because she's been a little bit more inconsistent recently. But going back to this prop, Azra Stevens over 17.5 points and rebounds. Now, if you just want to take the points, feel free to do so. If you are shopping on a book that you don't have the PR available, it's 10.5. You're almost getting plus money on that line. Don't really understand this line. She's had 15, 21, and 16 in her 3 matchups against Seattle this season. She's also coming off a 9-point game and a 17-point game in back-to-back games as well. She also just had a double-double. She had 12 boards in their game yesterday, so that's why I wanted to rope in the PR here. But again, against this Sparks team, 8 rebounds and 5 rebounds. She had a double-double on the 17th of June earlier this season. She's hit this in 5 of her last 6 games against this team. I'm expecting probably 25 to 30 minutes once again from Stevens here in this matchup. I really like this matchup for her. I really like this matchup for the Sparks. Do I think they stick around? I kind of like the 8.5, but I don't really want to bet it. I think the Seattle Storm might have been finally figuring it out and getting ready to roll into the playoffs. So I'm just going to stick with props here. And like you said, Kate, I think that over could have some juice. Oh, there's a lot of money. I was looking at the over. I'm not a big money split guy. I don't really bet like that. There's a lot of money and a lot of tickets on the under, which is always
on the under or on the over.
Under.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I know, which I was like, wow, that's shocking with how these teams play and their recent matchups too. So yeah, those are the props that I like. I did put out a little parlay if you want to tail that on the timeline. I really like Skylar Diggins in this spot too. Her PA was something that was very interesting to me, but I didn't want to have 3 props in one game in one night, so I just left that alone. She set that in 6 straight against the Sparks as well. So should be a good one though. If you want to watch some WNBA late night, I think this game tips off at 10 Eastern, 9 Central. So if you're finishing off, if this UNC game is a snooze fest, maybe it is going under, and maybe, Bill Belichick's girlfriend's not running around doing weird stuff and you don't really want to watch the game anymore, you can turn around and you can watch this one late night. Should be a fun one in the WNBA. So anything else on the dub you want to mention, Kate? Anything else?
Lynx Aces coming up later this week. That's going to be a really good game. I want to say that's Wednesday or Thursday, if I'm correct.
I think Thursday.
I think
one
Thursday
of the two, for
right.
sure. That's going to be a fun
Thursday.
game.
That's going to be a great game.
That's going to be a good one. We're going to have the dub tomorrow. Kate and I will be back with you guys tomorrow at 5:30 Eastern to talk about the slate tomorrow. We'll talk about kind of maybe some playoff prediction-y stuff as well, as we've got 4 teams locked in. The Aces are going to be fun to continue to talk about. The Dream, the Mercury, it's getting fun to the WNBA season. So, all right, we'll catch you guys tomorrow for that. Let's finish this off here. Let's talk some MLB. Danny said there's only 3 games, as we've had games all day today in honor of celebrating the holiday. I didn't know if you were going to find a bet, so shout out you for finding a bet that you like tonight on the MLB slate. What are we looking at tonight, man?
Yeah, I was considering something with the Padres against the Orioles. Line got a bit out of hand, so didn't end up pulling the trigger there. But I do like this spot here with the Tampa Bay Rays against the Mariners. The past couple of outings, I've been looking to fade Luis Castillo, and it's been great. I mean, this guy's kind of been a nightmare the second half of the season. And really all year, his underlying metrics have indicated that there's going to be regression. And now we're seeing that play out. he's been able to stay afloat in a lot of games, but particularly on the road, he's just been all over the place. I mean, his splits, 5.04 ERA on the road, 3.77 weighted on base average, 4.59 with his xFIP. Those are just his road numbers. His normal numbers, you look in the 3.75 ERA, certainly doesn't seem too bad, but the 4.40 expected ERA begs to differ. 4.22 xFIP, also not too promising. Hard hit rate is almost at 50%, which is obscene for a pitcher of the caliber of Luis Castillo. And then his barrel rate's right up there too at 11%. 14 earned runs given up in his last 3 starts. The Rays are on a nice little win streak right now, and obviously fighting for their postseason lives just like the Mariners are. The market's moved heavy in favor of Tampa Bay and completely feel the same way in that they're the right side. Minus 108 is the best number I've got. Shane Baz on the other side, kind of the reverse. Like his ERA is at 5.19, and that would scare the hell out of you, but 3.89 expected ERA. His FIP's at 4.66, but his xFIP is at 3.89. Got a really high ground ball rate of 47%, a higher strikeout to walk ratio than Castillo. Baz is at 16%. And even though, some of the numbers don't look very nice his last 6 starts, his xFIP has all been 3.85 or less in all of those except for one. So this is more the pitcher who's been getting unlucky, whereas Castillo, for the majority of the season, has been lucky to stay afloat. Baz has just been getting his pitches rocked, where really it should be coming around in a positive direction. I think we're seeing that being reflected in the betting market, and minus 108 still a pretty solid price to back that notion, or at least that's what I'm going to be doing. So that's the one play I like here, hoping that the analytics come through for us in this matchup.
So Danny, just to ask you, you guys can catch Danny again talking more baseball with Colby Marcio tomorrow on the Pickoff. So as a guy who likes betting baseball in the summer, but then obviously then you turn your attention to more football and basketball when we get into the fall. What's your angle and how do you split your time then? Like, do you still have the love the same way for baseball as it is in the summer, or do you start kind of going, I'm going to chill on that and go over here for NFL? Like, what's your or NFL and college football? What you're thinking?
Yeah, I certainly turned the page more to football. This time of year with baseball, I found myself that it's a little bit more difficult. I appreciate that, by the way. I'd love to hear that. If you got an extra ticket next year, I'm down, my friend. But, with baseball in October, like in the playoffs in general, I feel like my process that I have for handicapping, and certainly I do try to adjust it, but it's just like it doesn't work as well. And there's so many more variables that come into play. And it's not the same with the numbers once you get into the playoffs. Everybody's playing more tightly, and, you're not getting the same advantages or edges with a lot of these, maybe say crummy pitchers in the middle of the summer with hot offenses. Long story short, it's like, I think my process isn't as strong at this point. And then I also just get more excited for football too. And it's tough to go, fully in, multiple sports at once. And anybody who can tell you they can do it efficiently, I'm not saying they're lying, but, seldom is there people who can do it to the utmost of their ability. So I feel like it's a little bit more valuable for me to kind of switch it to football. And we know football's king too, a lot more exciting to watch, and more betting options too.
Absolutely. Baseball's kind of your summer side piece to get you through, and get you
exactly.
to the end of the road.
Mm-hmm. I love that. Yeah, I love baseball, and I'll find a spot here or there, but again, I just loses its lust a bit once the leaves start to change.
There's very few people that feel the same way about baseball that Colby does. He's going to cry when baseball is over, where we're all crying that it's going to be over in a good way. You know what I'm saying? In that regard. But
I'm so happy I don't have to talk about baseball anymore now that football's back. It's literally praise the Lord.
There it is. I mean, we have a couple minutes left to finish off the show. I've got the parlay cooked up on the screen that I'll read off in a second. But I think it's good to talk about these strategies, though, especially for people tuning in. If this is your first time being here, if you're just getting into sports betting, a good piece of advice that Danny mentioned, especially from what I've experienced, because you get really it's all fun. You're like, oh, I love this sport. Oh, I want to bet this. I want to bet that. But if you really want to take this seriously and you want to try to make some money in the long run and enjoy the process, try to focus on 1 to 2 sports, stuff that you really know and that you really follow. And then stick with those and really follow those, because if you really start to diversify your portfolio too much and follow too many things and get involved with too much stuff, you start to flounder. You don't feel as comfortable. You don't feel as confident. You're not following the leagues as closely. And then it's not as fun from what I found. Find what you enjoy, stick with it, and you can follow the games. You can watch them. You can get involved with it. You can't cap everything. It's impossible. So you just got to kind of roll with what you like. Is that the same for you, Kate? Do you feel the same way?
Yes, definitely. I find whenever I try and do too much, it's when you start losing more than you typically do, which losing in sports betting happens often. But when you're trying to juggle it all, it never goes great. So it's exactly strategy I follow as well.
Yeah, find people that you like. We have a lot of people here at Betting News. You can tell there's great people across the timeline. Kate even threw somebody earlier for a player prop that she's tailing on somebody. There's lots of sharp people out there that follow sports a lot closer than you do. You don't have to be the best at everything. You know, Danny's got that Masters hat on his head. If he gives me a golf bet, I'm going to tail it because he gave me Tommy Fleetwood to win, and he's fat. So, like, do I know how good Tommy Fleetwood is in that moment? No, but I trust Danny, so I'm going to tail it. That's how it goes. Also, Garrett, appreciate you being here from YouTube. Thanks for stopping by, man. Hope you enjoy. Give us a follow and a subscribe on YouTube. Keep growing the channel over there as well, man. We appreciate you for kicking it. All right, guys, before we get out of here, this is what I've got for the parlay today. Chad, if you want to tail a little parlay, we've given you guys a lot of picks across the entire slate tonight. We talked about everything going on this evening. If you want to bet everything, as always, bet stuff individually to make some money in the long run. If you want to tail a parlay, though, I've got the under from the UNC game, 54.5. I didn't do the soft version. I did the actual version. Tampa Bay Rays from Danny, money line, nice and easy. Your team total, the Lynx over 94.5 from the Lynx, and then take us home Nyeka over 18. Well, it's actually 18.5 now, but that's okay. Over 18.5 points. That's plus 1289 for kind of all of our favorite picks.
I like it.
Not bad. That's not bad.
I like that you're just going with the normal under now. You crack it up thinking when we were texting after the show, you're like, man, I should have just taken the normal. Was that for the Was that for the OSU game where you were saying that? Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that, and I was soft. But, you know, there's nothing wrong with taking something that's boosted down to get you minus 110. Like, that's a playable, totally fine. You know, like, I didn't get greedy. And again, I've learned with college kids, don't get greedy. Because if you get greedy with college kids, especially in college basketball, that's how you lose.
Yep.
So I've learned, and I'm happy just walking away with a nice, comfortable unit and feeling good about that. But yeah, for this, I'll be a little less soft. We'll go with the under 54.5. Tampa Bay Rays 94.5 for the team total for the Lynx, and the Nyeka over 19.5 points for the Seattle Storm, plus 1289. If you want to tail, that's your BETSPRESSO for it. Will be on the timeline on Twitter. If you want to give us a follow over there at Your Betting News. If you want to tail for a little cup of coffee, a little sprinkle, quarter unit, half unit, however you guys bet, for some fun for this Monday evening. Good stuff, guys. Great show.
Yeah.
Great way to start the week. Vibes are high. Thanks for being here. If this is your first time hanging out with us, we appreciate you guys for stopping by right here on Twitch, on YouTube, or anything else. That is Kate Constable. Go follow her at Kate Constable. Go follow Danny Burke at Danny Burke 5. Go follow myself at Sweatpants Jesus. Go follow all of us at Your Betting News across all social platforms. We go live right here every single day. We've got our news show calendar for the fall dropping probably tomorrow, maybe the next couple days. And chat, we've got triple dips for you guys almost every single day moving forward. The only day that we don't have that will be Wednesdays, but then Wednesdays starting next week, we'll have 2 shows every day. So we got a lot of content moving forward with you guys. If you like the vibes, if you like making some money and talking about sports, come and hang out with us every single day and kick it with us right here on the channel. Guys, anything else you want to say before we hop up on out of here?
Good luck.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Yes,
good way to
absolutely. Do it. Good luck. Can't wait for the NFL, baby. We're getting close.
We have actually, I'll sell you guys both right here. So Kate will have a new show next week, so she will be hosting on Wednesdays. It will be her prop show. We'll save a little more. We'll just tease it a little bit more until we get all the finalized details. And then Danny will be hosting a brand new show with our man Adam Kaufman starting on Thursday. Do you want to go ahead and should we drop the name now, Danny, or should we wait? Should we tease that a little bit further too?
It's up to you, my man.
Let's tease it a little further. We got a couple more days. We're going to have an NFL show 3 times a week during the week to talk about all the news, all the transactions, all the fantasy stuff, everything from these guys, early plays and things like that 3 times a week during the lunch hour. That'll be dropping very soon, starting on Thursday. It'll be fun. NFL's almost here. Real quick, since Garrett's here and the vibes are high for him, do you guys like the first half under? What's the number on that? Let me pull that up real quick.
I like the first half under. I think things might be a little slow to get started. So yeah, if you don't want to take the full total under, I'm fine with the first half under.
What's the number you're seeing?
On what that
Garrett?
number's at. Yeah, I always like that angle. I mean, especially in the first week.
Yeah, 27.5.
Oh, yeah. If you're getting 27 in the hook, I like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, MJ's not going to be running out there and helping anytime soon. So, yeah, 27.5. Yeah.
You should ask MJ what he's betting on this game. That's what the real question.
That guy's got some action.
Something on this game. Yeah.
He's got
I want to fade whatever he's betting. That's a lot. Just going the opposite of MJ.
Just do that. When he misses. There it is. Yeah, dude, that's a great shout. and if you can, it'll be funny, Danny, is that we're watching this game. I'm sitting him on the sidelines. If he has some like scout look on his face, that Ben ain't hitting. He's lost so much money.
He's like UNC scores a touchdown. His face is just completely blank. They're like, that's weird. Why isn't he celebrating?
Yeah.
He's totally got TCU by 1 million in the slips. Him and Charles Barkley probably share their bets all the time. Oh, God. Let's go, Garrett. We appreciate you, man. Thanks for being here. Come and kick it with us every single day. Great show, guys. Thank you so much for your time on this beautiful Monday. Chat, thanks for being here. Have a fantastic rest of your Monday. Have a great rest of your Labor Day. Thanks for spending some time with us. Go out there and make some money tonight and have some fun watching the games. You guys came for the winners and you stayed for the vibes. We'll catch you guys tomorrow. Like I said, we've got so much going on. I don't even remember what shows we have tomorrow. So just subscribe to the channel. You'll get the noti when we go live, and we will catch you on the next one. Take it easy, chat. Have a good night. Peace.
What you know about rolling down in the deep? Down in the deep. Now I know y'all be loving this shit right here. Rolling. What you gonna do? Rolling. What you gonna do? Down in the rolling. What you gonna do? Right, y'all be loving this shit. What you know about